Confusion is what keeps you poor. Most people think poverty comes from not earning enough money. They think if they just made a little more, everything would calm down, bills would stop feeling heavy, life would feel manageable. But that's not what actually keeps people poor. What keeps people poor is confusion. Not confusion in a dramatic sense. Not, I don't know anything about money. A quieter kind of confusion. The kind that lives in your head every day. Without you noticing, it's there. You wake up tired, you go to work, you do what you're told, you pay what you must. And at night, you scroll, trying to forget the feeling that something is off. You're busy, but you're not clear. And that difference matters more than money itself. Confusion doesn't feel like panic. It feels like fog. You don't know exactly what you want. You don't know what you're working toward. You don't know which problem to solve first. So, you try to solve all of them at once, and that's how people stay stuck for years. When you're confused about money, everything feels urgent. Every bill feels like an emergency. Every decision feels risky. Every expense feels emotional. You're not reacting to numbers. You're reacting to uncertainty. That's why you avoid looking at your bank account, not because the number is small, but because you don't know what it means. You don't know what to do next after seeing it, so you look away. Confusion makes people chase random solutions. They try budgeting apps, then side hustles, then investing videos, then motivation clips. They jump from idea to idea, hoping one of them will magically fix everything. But none of them stick. Because clarity didn't come first. Clarity is knowing what problem you're actually solving. Most people think their problem is not enough money. That's almost never true. The real problem is usually one of these: unstable income, no control over spending, no plan for bad months, no idea how long things can continue, no clear definition of enough. But when you're confused, all of these blur into one painful feeling. So you attack the wrong thing. Let's be honest. You don't need to know how to invest right now. You don't need advanced strategies. You don't need a perfect system. You need to understand reflectively what's happening in your life, where money is going, why it keeps disappearing, which expense actually hurts you, and which just annoys you emotionally. Confusion prevents that reflection. Confusion keeps you busy, but directionless. You work harder, not smarter. You earn more, but feel poorer. You save sometimes, then ruin it with one bad month. And each failure reinforces the belief, I'm bad with money. But that's not true. You're not bad. You're unclear. Clear people don't feel rich. They feel calm. They know what they're doing this month. They know what can go wrong. They know what they'll do if it does. That calm changes behavior automatically. Confused people don't get that luxury. Every choice feels like pressure. Confusion also distorts time. You overestimate what you can fix in a week and underestimate what you can change in a year. So, you chase quick wins. You avoid boring consistency. You think clarity will come after money. But it never does. Clarity comes first. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Money doesn't solve confusion. Money exposes it. When people suddenly earn more without clarity, they feel even worse. More decisions, more guilt, more fear of losing it. That's why so many people earn more but stay anxious. They upgraded income, not understanding. Confusion also creates emotional spending, not because you're weak, but because uncertainty is exhausting. Buying something gives you a brief sense of control, a moment where you chose something. Then reality comes back, and the fog thickens. When people say poor people make bad decisions, they misunderstand the situation. Confused people make reactive decisions. They choose relief over strategy, silence over clarity. avoidance over understanding. And those choices compound quietly. Clarity doesn't mean knowing everything. It means knowing enough to move calmly. It means being able to answer simple questions. How much do I actually need per month? What happens if income drops? What is my biggest financial stressor right now? What problem am I solving first? Most people can't answer these, not because they're stupid, but because they've never slowed down enough to look. Confusion thrives in speed. Bills, notifications, news, social media, advice. Everyone is yelling what you should do. Save more. Invest early. Hustle harder. Quit your job. Start a business. All at once. So you freeze. When you're clear, advice becomes optional. When you're confused, advice becomes overwhelming. That's why clarity feels boring to outsiders. It's quiet. It's slow. It's repetitive. But it works. Clarity starts when you stop asking, "How do I make more money?" and start asking, "What exactly is breaking my peace right now?" That question changes everything. Because now you're not chasing success. You're reducing friction. Most people don't need a financial breakthrough. They need a mental decluttering. Less goals, less strategies, less comparison, more awareness. Here's what clarity looks like in real life. You know which expenses are non-negotiable. You know which ones are emotional. You know which month hurts most. You know which fear keeps you awake. That knowledge removes shame. Shame only survives in confusion. Once clarity appears, money stops feeling personal. It becomes mechanical. Income in, expenses out, gaps visible. No drama, no self-hate, just information. And information is power, not motivational power, directional power. The kind that lets you say, "Not yet. Not this month. This isn't my priority." Confused people say yes to everything. Clear people say no easily. That's the difference. If you feel poor, ask yourself this honestly. Do I lack money, or do I lack a clear picture of my situation? Most people already know the answer. They're just afraid to sit with it. Clarity doesn't fix your life overnight, but it stops the bleeding. It gives you something priceless, a sense of control over your next step. Not your future, your next step. That's enough. You don't need confidence. Confidence comes after clarity. You don't need motivation. Motivation follows understanding. You need to see clearly, even if what you see isn't pretty. Especially then. Because once you see clearly, confusion loses its grip. And when confusion leaves, poverty stops feeling permanent. That's not optimism. That's reality. End.